Yeah, today we have Dato James Foo. Dato James is an investor and serial entrepreneur. And from here, I know that close to 20 years, you have had running over 7, 8 businesses. Five are multi-million dollar businesses. Correct me if I'm wrong. This one, and you have over 40 over years in the business. Tell me about that.
But I mean, just to give a little backstory, this came about solely for the fact that I saw actually how hard was it to make money. I saw how my dad really find it really hard to make money. I told myself, how hard can it be? He was actually what we call electrical contractors. Press, refrigerators, air conditions, and this is how I started. Blue collar. Started off like that. He wanted to have a better life. And he went after this beautiful girl. This beautiful girl was actually a Miss Po or Miss Penang or something lah. Happened to be the PA of one of the richest men in Malaysia at that time. Right, and he was looking for a job, and he went there every day, tried to like how are you doing, and try to do business lah, and the lady was saying, I don't like rich men because rich men are, we call flower heart lah, fast some, yeah, so I want a man that is kyok tap sapte, those grounded men, and happened to be at a time my dad was always there, right, and he paid a visit almost every other day, trying to move the appointment for the big shot lah. Long story short, married her, and she gave birth to me. When she gave birth to me, she fell ill. So she had something called PNS, postnatal syndrome, similar to what we call as a PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. At that time, doctors didn't know what it was. So sometimes hallucination, some days. I saw my dad struggle for many years, trying to take care of her, to so-called cure her. We could manage it for under control, but I blame myself for many years because she gave birth to me, she was sick. Fast forward all these stories, I was actually doing my first semester of PhD in Australia, and my dad said, hey, Zaya, long time haven't come back home because I was in Australia. He only gave me enough to, the room rental, that's basically it, and then some education money. Anything else I wanted, I had to work for it. So I was a bartender, I was the pamphlet deliverer in the summer days, and then he called me, long time you haven't come back lah. So I said, no, but I'm actually lecturing part-time. So, yeah, but haven't seen you for a long time. So I said, okay, sure. And he picked me up at the airport, which he rarely does, Normally just come home lah. But he picked me at the airport and then brought me to the hospital. Why are we here today? And I think he found it very difficult to share some news. And the news was, a doctor came and said, you know what, I don't know how to bring it up to you, but there is no easy way to tell this. But your mom has 3 months maximum.
What was that?
3 months to live. So she had breast cancer, first mastectomy, spread to the second, and then later when it went to the spine, and when doctors say the magic word, get your affairs in order, you kind of know what it means. 3 months ma. So why don't you get your affairs in order? My dad took it, I won't say pretty hard, but I think he never give up type. So in Chinese, we call man san, man guai, man bomo, he went everything. From Cameron Highlands to Malacca to the I don't know what monk with the red foot, you name it lah, he went and see everyone. As long as could cure her lah, because 3 months ma. And we followed a very strict regimen what the doctor said. Cannot eat this, must sleep this time. It's almost like jail actually. And I saw him literally, one leg can go to Chokam lah, go to prison, one leg can go to bankruptcy by just paying the medical bills. Because chelation therapy, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, you name it right, it's not few $100, it's few thousand by the weeks. And that gave me a very difficult moment of life. And I remember when the doctor told me that.
How old was you?
Almost 21? 20 or 21?
Very young.
I like to think so. So what happened was, after the doctor told me the news, my dad said, okay lah, so we go home, bring your mother home. I said, I just want some time. And I walked around town aimlessly, and I stumbled upon PWTC. And I remember there was a long queue. And I'm like, kepo lah, what is it? So long queue, must be lah. So I tried to distract myself lah, And then anyway, long story short, I queue. And then when I queue to my turn at time, I still remember this guy, very young man. And he said, hey, young man, soak your feet lah. I said, soak feet for what? Oh, no. Soak feet, I tell you what's wrong with you. I go like, this must be feng shui, this is something lah, No. And he said, the people up before you soak their feet, and then different colored bubbles signify different illness in your body. And I said, wow, this is quite cool. So I think to myself, if I found it earlier, maybe it would help my mother. Or actually, I think I could make some money to help my dad out. And that's how really one of the first business started. So took what money I had left, and I told the guy some story of I think this is the first time I do Malaysia do business right. Malaysia not so easy do business. I said, we need to have a sample and then let me have you sell it for you lah. I think this is a very good one. He was like, I think last day of the sale already, and like, okay lah, give me a very good price. Bought the item. On the way home, I realized that, when we call buyer's remorse, when you buy, then you feel a bit panic already. Right. Like, you feel like a donkey, like you just got ripped off lah. Really got such thing, man? So your feet and then got colored bubbles come out. Purple color bubble, red color bubble, green color bubble means kidney, liver problem, Okay. No, alam lah. Say yeah.
But you tried before?
Yeah. But they tell me I don't know what.
What color was that?
Got many colors lah. Sometimes the color is turquoise, is shady maroon. So James, I think you want got the bladder problem. Anyway, he told me that. But on the way home, I panicked. Because I remember my dad said, don't simply spend money right now. If you can, what little you have, you save. And then invest, take care of yourself lah. I mean, I don't expect you to give me money. But you take care of yourself, you don't ask my money from me. Means life is very good already. Yeah. So then I panicked. So I said, if I bring this back, and I realized that I spent the medication money that I was supposed to buy for my mom at the pharmacy.
What's that money?
I was close to $1,000.
Okay.
And
big money at the time.
For that time was quite a lot of money.
Big money.
So I went to the pharmacy and then and they said, hey, how are you? I go like, okay lah. What are you going to do? I said, so I've been buying medication for a while already. And they said, oh, the usual? I said, yeah. But can I owe you? Because I spent it already. Then he went like, okay. Can I mean, you've been with us for so long already. What is this? So I told the story. Oh, you soak the feet and then different color bubbles come out. And guess what? It'll tell you the illness and the sickness. And he went like, he smiled. And then my heart sank. I said, because I look up Chiong. This is called Big Walk in Little China, And I told him, I said, Uncle, I don't think I can bring this back. I kind of spend the money on this. Then he said, James, why don't you leave it here? And let me see what I can do for you. And I go like, sure. The medication, how? You take later. So, happy or not? Good trade, right?
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks later, the pharmacist called the house. Right. So my dad picked up the phone. Hello? What you speak to my son? And then I tell you, my heart didn't just sink. It went all the way to the ground. And I said, this is Morakawa. This is worse than anything a day. And I picked up the phone and said, what you call? I said, collect medication. I was like, why you call? And he said, come lah. I know, long time you never come. I said, okay, I come. So when I came to it, I still remember very clearly, light as day. I've never seen. He was serious to me. He said, "Come here, James." And then, by the way, he pick up on stack. He said, "This is yours." Then I look. What do you mean this is yours? Your share lah. I said, share of what? He gave me money, And he said, oh, very good. Your machine, right? Put the food there. You told me they got different color bubbles. I sell all the vitamins to all the customers that come in, my regulars, right? Then they bought treatment plans and wow. Long and short of it, it was doing about close to 1,000 a day. Just that, right? And weekends we were doing about 1,500 to 2,000. It just struck me and said that, hey, actually I didn't even lift a finger. I didn't do anything. Kind of stumbled upon the first business. That led us to me and my friends opening. Hey, would other pharmacies like this idea? So we went to 2 to 3 other pharmacies. They liked the idea. You test it out first. In close to about 10 months, we hit our first $1 million. That's the good news. And that's the news you see on the CV. But what I want to share in this is people don't know what happened after that. So on the 11th month, almost the 12 months, guess what? My product was actually a design in US, made in China. And like any business in Malaysia or anywhere around the world, people like to copy, right? They see, wow, Kanyin doing very well. You do some printing, publishing, I also can do. Then they open one next door. Or even similar to any business, whether is it publishing or even F&B business. There's so many F&B sprouting up right now. So that thing happened to me. Someone bought a made in China, designed in China product at a quarter of the price. That was not the problem actually. The price was cheap, but what happened was when people soaked their feet in it, after less than a week, right, they had rashes. And then the municipal government put out a ban. All this product cannot be used. Cannot be used, cannot be sold, because got skin problem. Guess what happened to all the customers in the pharmacies and whatnot? People asking for refund, people ask for, you name it. When people are angry, right, they ask for funny things. Some say trauma, some say, I got mosi pinyao sila. Some people ask for money back. This is the story that I realized that a lot of people don't talk about. is the failure stories. I mean, success stories are given, but yeah. So I think out of the 80, what you probably don't know, I mean, is close to 50 of them went away without a system, a process, connections or whatnot. So yeah, I mean, just a long answer to a short question. That was the reason why I actually wanted to start on the journey of making money. It was not because I was smart. It was just by timing.
What was the lesson after these particular failures and success?
I think the big lesson for me was the fact that don't trust blindly. So I trusted the fact that this could be a business could bring me not just millions. I was actually doing this every day, like every day 1,000, one shop 1,000, right? If I got 4 shop 4,000, then I count out Malaysia got how many shops, right? I said every month I'll be buying a new Lamborghini already. You know? True or not? So I didn't actually had a so-called a plan. I didn't plan that far. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and live, enjoy life.
And you were young then?
I was young. I also realized that when I was younger, my mom used to play chess with me. And then she used to tell me the difference between chess players. My daughter is playing chess now, and then I'm asking her what my mom asked me, which was, do you know how many steps ahead does a chess player think? So she said, if you're a grandmaster, like the world number 1, top 1%, you think 10 to 15 steps ahead. Every time the opponent move one move, you already have 10 to 15 steps standby. That's called a grandmaster. A master thinks about 5 to 10 steps. An amateur, 1 to 5 steps. If you in life don't even think 1 to 5 steps, you consider an amateur, what do you think business will be like? Because in this world, there are so many people out there. I mean, we call bad cops, they are also good cops, right? And they are good businessmen, they are also bad businessmen. So do you know how to take care of yourself? Do you know how to protect yourself? And so the big lesson for me was, I wasn't seeing things from a bigger perspective, number 1. Number 2, I wasn't thinking really far enough. I was just, certain races we call hand to mouth, right? They sell all their, just last week, one of my friends told me, they started a new business. They were actually doing those luxury bag business where they help people check the authenticity and they help you sell it also.
Oh, okay.
Right, so check whether it's LV, Bulgari, whatever the Hermes. So they check and they say, okay, legit, and then they give you a price.
Right.
Then if you like, you take the price, you know. So I having a conversation with her, and she was telling me the different races that come to her. The one particular race, won't name which one, came to her. And she said, you know what, I got all these bags, I think about 5 to 7 of them, of different levels, from LV to Hermes. She had half a dozen of that. So she said, how much? And of course, after the check was done, it was legit. And then I think it was close to close to 100 grand, give or take.
For all the bags?
For all the bags. And then the lady just asked, the business owner just asked, just curious, what are you going to do with this 100 grand? Oh, I'm having a birthday party next week. So I need to sell the bags and invest into my birthday party. She was like, wow. So it's almost, you know what I mean, how they actually think. And I was just amazed that, I actually didn't think that far. And so my biggest lesson of the first one was, if I had knew that there were other so-called competitors coming in from different countries, or what we call right now I would think is a global approach, I would have been better prepared of an exit plan. Because last time I thought I would be, till I die, this is the one that made me so much money. And Forbes magazine, stuff. I was like sticking on the wall, and success. I was like, under a year, it went as fast as it came. And of course, when I was young, guess what? We also tend to spend a bit more, right? I didn't save a lot, thinking that more money will come. So I wasn't saving for a rainy day. So I think that was part of what I got from the first business.
Do you save some for your mom medication?
Yeah. I was naive. I keep thinking, 1,000 a day. I had 4 outlets then. So I had 4,000 a day. If I'm doing 4,000 a day, and the weekends, let's say I'm doing about 2,000 a pop. So I'm doing 4 plus 7. I'm doing how much? I'm close to about 40 or 50 grand a month.
It's quite normal for young entrepreneurs. It's like you want the count chicken before you hatch.
And we spend what we don't have normally. And then just when you thought that you had a lot of money, you also have more friends. right? And people think you're doing well. Guess what? They also spend more time with you, and guess what? You think you're a big shot right now, right? And I will treat you, I'll take care of you. You buy bigger gifts. Somehow, I realized the more you have, the more you spend. The more you have, the more you don't have. Yeah, so that was a couple of things that really got me going.
When did you reach some status, or when you reach some level of maturity, your thoughts will be different on luxury things, on what you have. It's different. After, so to speak, this business failure, so what do you do? Move forward after this?
After that, it was all downhill.
Yeah.
Downhill in the sense, I thought like, you know what, if I can do it once, I can do it again, right? And we also do that and say that if he can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it, right? Yeah. So the next business I thought, what can we do that is even faster? Because this business I actually had no experience, not much money, no authority, no idea what this is about, and money came very easy. So what was something that we could do is fairly easy. At that time it was close to, I think, Iraq war. And do you know how soldiers drink water in the desert? I was just wondering, how do they deliver water in the desert to soldiers? Right? You can just drop, plane can just drop water, right? Because it'll be shot down. So there was new technology invented by NASA at that time, and it was what we call an air to water generator. It's just a machine that you plug into a power point. After 1 hour, no piping, there's no piping, just power point, you plug in, 1 hour, 1 liter of water from moisture. That's technology. And at that time, right? So there are this huge, those highway, when you see those oil tankers, that size was generating water for all the soldiers. So they managed to miniaturize it to one of those, like those nowadays where they turn around, those type. They got those already. And I think it was the first time it came to Malaysia, and it was my best friend's dad's office. So I visited my best friend. He told me, hey bro, this one no pipe, got water come out from air. I went like, yeah, right. Now I'm smarter, right? I'm like, yeah. Then he moved the machine. He unplugged it. You drink water now? I said, no, you add water one. No, why add water? He opened the machine and said, no, look. And I said like, oh, guess what? Another aha bulb come out. I said, wow, I think I can make even more than last time now. Right or not? So I said, hey, can I meet with your dad or whoever's in charge and have that convo, And long and short of it, he said, sure. So I said, uncle, I think I know a lot of people who want this machine. But at that time it was like very hard to carry all the water bottles up, very expensive, dirty, not maintained. This one cleans by itself, is like the perfect at that time. So long and short of it was, he gave me a price, I still remember, was 1099. I was selling it for 3888. Every Tom, Dick and Harry in town. So from uncles, aunties, neighbors, as though I was selling the invention of the light bulb. I probably oversold it, and long and short, I think I sold about close to half a container. So he had like 40-footer containers. I sold half a container. So if you do the maths, each machine it's about 2K, and you sold about 100 machines. How much is that? So in about 6 months, I think I hit close to my old figure of 9 months again. I was so happy, and I said like, making money actually very easy. Hiyo, talk. And then people go, I don't even have to do delivery, I just have to take order. Okay. Mr. Adrian, you want this machine or not? Then I call.
Your friend could deliver.
I don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I like, actually this is called business. Sit down, we call duduk diam dapat duit one. Literally, I move the mouth, lip service right? 6 months in, I was doing 6 figures again. Almost 9 months, I hit back my own number again. And I like, so a bit arrogant. I think if you met me when I was much younger, you're like, cannot count on my podcast. This guy too much already. What really hit me the most was on the 10th month, a lot of calls start coming in. Hey James, this one, I noticed 1 hour, no more 1 liter. Less and less water come out. Sometimes got 1 cup only. How? I went like, interesting question. So I went back to my best friend's dad's office, and then spoke to the person in charge and said, how, all this kind of thing. Oh, need to clean it and what stuff lah. So did all the basic cleaning or not. Still, after 1 month, right, the more calls were coming in. And this time, one of few of them, I still remember, broke down. Like, it just doesn't function anymore. This house, Eco Sky, go and collect, spoil. Oh, Mr. Foo, this is trading. We're doing trading. So, my twin for 1099, I sell all to you already. You make all the money already, so you service. I said, what do I know about servicing this? Yeah. Oh, you didn't know about this? Yeah, this is called trading business. We buy, we sell, we buy, we sell. So we sold it to you, you took it, you make your money. So I said, yeah, I know, I understand, but still, you must help me with this, right? Really love to help you, but sorry, we don't make money, what? If anything, we make few $100 only, what? Right? 1,000, how much can we make?
So they wash your hands, didn't do any.
It's a trading business.
Service.
Zero.
Okay.
And I got so many calls coming in, and I was really, really panicked. Spoke to my dad. Got the courage to speak to my dad and say like, so if this happened to you, you tell a story of my friend's story, actually it's you. And he went like, okay, if your friend were to happen to your friend like this, I would say the most important in life is only one thing, he said. He said, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation. It takes a moment to lose it. So, you may be rich today, you may be poor today, but many years down the line, you may not know, you may become someone. Or, if your reputation is bad, right, it only becomes worse. So, if I were your friend, he said, I would return the money, and because you cannot fix it, and you have no knowledge. So, stubborn me, guess what? How hard can it to fix a machine like that? Right? Logically, you just use common sense. So a lot of people say, it's common sense. I said, no, common sense is not common practice. Your common sense and my common sense are very far apart. Anyway, I brought this machine to the refrigerator shop. I brought the machine to a water shop. I brought the machine to many shops, and all of them, it's like trying to bring a electric car to a normal manual car workshop nowadays and try to fix it. They probably know the car, but they have no clue how to fix it. So I gave up after almost a month or so, and I really had to
Cough back up the
because
money.
they said take the machine back. It doesn't work anymore. Sometimes when I do sales, you tend to oversell.
Yeah,
You're young, right? Overpromise. You can, everything can. So I even gave a 1-year warranty. It's before a year, So what happens? So they all wanted that product back, and I had to return. It took me a long time and realization that business is not so cut and dry, right? And I had to return most of the money. Some were very kind, close relatives. Tala. They let me slide. Some are still holding me. Young man, you still remember? Yes, uncle, yes. Yeah. So every Chinese New Year today, right? Big hamper, thank you, uncle, thank you, auntie. For me, that was the second ditch I went to. So for me, it was not every touch became gold. Every touch to me became like dust. It became from bad to worse.
How do you feel? What do you feel then?
I think the feeling is indescribable. I can't describe how such a failure. Initially, I thought I could help the family. Initially, I thought I could actually do more good. But I realized that everyone has what we call a magic number. If we hit that magic number, right, also demons will come out. I don't know, is it true for you or not? So example, like 2 years ago, we actually listed one of our companies. And a partner of us, he runs the show, basically, right? So we worked at it. And I still remember when they hit the 100 million mark, unconsciously decided to not focus on the business. Every day would be enjoying, having a good time, and doing a lot of unnecessary things that does not run the business. And the business went from a high, I think close to $30 to now pennies. And he would say it's okay, we already listed it, we can make lots of money, just raise some funds and let's get more injection and I go like, what? So everyone, I believe, have a number. What is that number that tricks you to then, I think I've achieved everything I want, and you let it go. So for me at the time, my number was a very small number. $1 million was, you know what, I'm the king of the world. So every time I hit a number, I chill. I like, how much is the medication? Ayo, sabchinya ma. Money coming in every week, right? And so my biggest takeaway on that time was not just thinking bigger, not just planning steps ahead. The second business taught me about what questions should I ask, because the individual that you're doing business with is not lying to you. You never ask, I don't tell you. So is he called a lie? Is he unscrupulous? Is he shrewd? More and more skeptic about doing business, about partnerships. And that got me into a little spiral. And I spent many times reading books, finding a way out, going for seminars. I still remember my dad was totally against that. He said, if they are so great, these speakers, these authors are so great, do they need to do it? If they're so great, right, they're doing so well, must they speak? Must they write? No need. They'll be shaking their leg in the beach, sipping coconut. Please lah, use a bit of common sense. You are where they make money. I think, there is truth, but the speaker also makes sense there. True? And my dad is not highly educated, and you know what? I judge. I had a little education, what he worked very hard to actually send me there, and I realized that, so we had major fights. You don't know lah. Robert Kiyosaki said this about property investment. We got the two lots in Times Square. It was the biggest mall at the time with the indoor, we call roller coaster.
Theme park, right?
With theme park, right? And we were like, sure, hit go this time. Sure win I said. Right? So we partnered with the Korean business partner. They brought in all the products. We were actually doing all the local. So we were their local partners. So we were doing the renting, the leasing, the selling. We did all that.
What time was that? What year was that?
Actually, I lost the years already. For many years, if you ask good questions like this, the pain of losing, somehow I realized I blocked a lot of those dates out. Like, my God, it's very painful. Something. Because the stock costs money. Bring the stock costs money. Inventory costs money. Rental costs money. Staffing costs money. And you want to make it look good. You're going to be standing there and you try to sell, right? Almost 2 years, or 1.5 to 2 years, I still remember. We didn't sell enough to cover rent or even overheads. There was no customers. There was no walking by. There was nothing. Literally, it was a ghost town. Really depressed. Fire sale. The products closed. We cannot hold, We cannot hold. 2 shops. If rental is 10,000 each, 20,000. How to continue? And that's not pandemic time, That was just normal business. And the big takeaway for me was we didn't do research enough about malls. There was no traction. It was a new mall. It was so new. So we thought we already had a brand, and because you got a logo, you're a brand, right? Not true. No one knows about us. No one heard about us. We didn't know about marketing. We just thought, I like to eat Korean. You like to eat Korean. Korean is new. Sure, people come and eat, right? So we made a lot of assumptions. The pain of that was not just that, it's also the partnership went sour. Sure, right? Because I trusted you. I'm a foreigner. I trusted you. Although we were friends, we used to do a lot of projects together and want to make a side hustle together. But still, when you make money, you have still a lot of good friends. When you lose money, then you really see who your true friends are.
True.
Right? And so that was my retail experience. And I also realized that one retail outlet was not enough. To really play the retail game, you need to have numbers. And so during the time, I was speaking to a lot of people, a lot of MRCA, but they were just telling me, you need to have a dozen around, just like almost every mall you go to nowadays, I also don't know why I'm going to different malls, have the same shops. Why? So the key word then was, you need to have what we call convenience. More like today, and things have never changed, is people want more convenient right now. Right? With the e-commerce, people just want to click and, I hope it delivers to my house today. I think my lesson that was, what does not change, we must really focus very hard on. Example, there's no way in history, even from 10 years or the next 100 years, anyone, I believe, would say, Mantia, slowly deliver to me. No. Everyone will want it fast. If actually they want, I press the phone, I put my hand here, it appears in my hand. Your business will explode. Correct? So it's speed. So I think this will never change. Number one. Number two, what will never change in the next 100 years is price. People will always want cheap. Never come, why Kanyin so cheap one? No. Can it be cheaper? And that will always be the case. So what are we doing to leverage on other technology, system, processes, or even our network to actually manage what we call is cheap? Because cheap is debatable, right? So first thing never change, second thing never change. The third thing that never change, that I realized that was the hardest for me, is people's mindset. Example of people's mindset. I always think that, if you do something good, you do something well, people will come to you. Business will come to you.
Right.
And for many years, I realized I was doing a lot of, whether it's on the local, regional, or global stage, I was doing a lot of advisory work. I was doing a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching to startup companies. Some I even invested in. I gave everything I got, all my lessons, and I hope one day, they say if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want, right? I'm still waiting. My beard, white already, my hair white already. I guess in that sense, it doesn't come directly. It may come indirectly. But it's also because I didn't have a own plan.
Back then.
Yeah, back then. I didn't have a plan that if I help enough people, how do I actually achieve my goals? Because then I got distracted. So the third thing that I realized is you cannot change people. Human nature has been wired to behave a certain way for the longest time.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And
they want it cheap, they want it cheaper, they want it cheap and cheaper.
So it's always cheap, cheaper, and cheapest.
Yeah.
They want fast, faster, fastest. And the next thing is not just cheap and fast, they must also want it better.
Better quality.
Better quality.
Yeah. Better food.
Better food, and if possible, easier. We are getting more and more lazy. If anything, to me, this generation is the generation that is the most comfortable of all. We are the most comfortable generation of all. Whatever we want, whatever we think, whatever we need, right, is at our fingertips right now. My internet time was dial-up internet. You have to combine the modem and then play the sound. Tee, 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 tee. Now, if there's no internet, my face become black. There's no Wi-Fi, right? We're very unhappy. Why this place? How come, They said Wi-Fi equals to happy wife, happy life, right? So if no Wi-Fi, right, very unhappy.
Unhappy family.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so people just want it so easy right now. And I realized that in business, not the case. It does not get easier. It actually gets harder. And I tell a lot of my students or the mentees, I said, don't choose things to be easier, but choose your heart. To have discipline is hard one actually. Every day I want to wake up and maintain this sexy figure. If I tell you last time I used to swim on a national level, I used to compete. I got number 3 on a national level. But they asked me for photos. I said, my time, where got people got photo one? And if anything, we moved house. Our house got flooded. That's another story for another day. And we lost all the photos and trophies and whatnot, right? And I used to have a V-shaped body with 4 packs, right? Now, I have an A-shaped body with 1 pack. Like us lah, okay? We call one nation,
Tell
right?
me about that.
And so I realized that for things to change, we must change. And I was trying to change people for the longest time. And so in terms of doing business, how can I change to suit what the people really need, what the customers really want? Because a lot of times I realized that a couple of businesses that I lost was the fact that I was stubborn. I didn't want to change. The customer do not know what they want. I tell them what they want. How many Steve Jobs are there in the world? One. Only one Steve Jobs, one Jack Ma, one of Robert Koch, one, right? If someone told you that at the time, I still remember BlackBerry. Like BlackBerry had so many keypads. And then this Amolang from America said, "Oh, don't need keypad. One button will rule all." We're like, we will laugh, right? This guy
was laughing too.
Yes.
Pilot was laughing.
Exactly. So I watched the movie and I realized that he was arrogant to say that, but also he managed to pull it through. So when you're successful, you can say a lot of things and people listen to you. But when you fail, right, you actually fail on very hard terms, and most of the time you become a laughing stock. Most of the time people are like, I told you. You see how to do it? So my big takeaway was, I need to change to suit.
How many times did you fail?
Well, I stopped counting when I stopped counting when I hit 80. I lost about close to 50 over companies, and how many times I'm still failing today. They said when you're 50, and I'm 50 this year, every year you don't exercise, minimum 4 times a week, you're losing 1% of muscle mass that you'll never get back again.
Okay.
Never get back again, right? You cannot say, I suddenly want to do back. So if you are 35 and below, you still can, this week I'm a bit tired. I party a lot, can. But once you are 45 and above, you don't get your morning call, you get a lot of things you want and you don't get anymore. And if you don't exercise, right, you're actually dying a slow death. The average Malaysian man is the age of 75 to 78, their lifespan. Women, 80, right? And because you do not exercise, every day just goes less. compound interest. So I came out with a regimen, like 7 days, right? In 7 days, I need to exercise. How? So 1 day I rest, 2 days I walk 10,000 steps, 2 days I swim about a km, and then 2 days I do HIIT Tabata. This is what I wrote down, this is what I practice, but I'm human, right? So
You take it easy, you give ourselves excuses.
yeah,
Not today lah.
not today. Today I got
It works so hard.
Yeah, today I'm gonna get grilled by Adrian. I know him. Everyone says he's a tough griller. Okay.
Am I?
So right, so can slack. So like I look at it. See, today only got 1,000 in. So now tonight I need to catch up lah. 9,000 to go. Right. So what I want to share is the fact is, what are your routines? What are your rituals? Not habits. A while back, from a wise person, they were saying that all habits are bad. There are no good habits, there are no bad habits. All habits are bad. Why? So I was wondering why. So he said a habit is bad because it is unconscious. You don't think about it, like when you put your car keys, when you come back, or you come home, you just take your clothes off, you just do your usual. Sometimes you don't know how you reach home. So it's a habit, right? So if you are running life unconsciously and you believe the phrase that how you do anything is how you do everything, that means you're running business unconsciously also.
That's
True?
Yeah.
Right. So if you know that what are the habits in your business that you think is good, but you're doing unconsciously, guess what? For things to change, we must change, right? And if you're doing the same thing again and again and hoping for different results, there are two words only. It's either stupid or crazy. But I do the same thing and then I hope different results, right? So we must change. So I start focus on rituals. And that's how I came about is I need to have what we call an exercise routine, right? Launching a book. Hopefully with your help I can get it to materialize. Planning to. It's for the longest time. It's called the Miracle Hours. It'll advertisement on the Miracle Hour is that for about 10 years I've been practicing this non-stop. And I think it helped me and helped a lot of people that I shared with to actually shift to a different, we call a level in life. So if I can, I'll share a little bit. So every day without fail, from 6 to 7 a.m., I call it the Power Hour. The Power Hour. And in the Power Hour, I do three things. I want to make sure my mental bank account is full. So when I talk to you, I know I'm going to interview today, I must have a clear mind. Don't simply ramble, and I don't want to ruin your podcast, right? We won't be the first and the last, right? So my mental bank account has to be filled.
Okay.
Right, that's the first one. My second one is my physical bank account must be filled. Because how health is wealth. If I want to take on the day, I must really be strong. Right? And then the third one is my emotional bank account must also be filled. So my three bank accounts must be 100% before I go on and take on the world. So in my physical bank account, I do my 7 things, right? In my mental bank account, I make sure I read. I read about 10 to 15 pages a day religiously. I even have a reading club. So, and my emotional bank account, I do meditation, I do visualizations and whatnot. So that is what I call in my morning hour, I call it the power hour. At the end of the day, when my Muslim friends are doing their sembahyang, at 7 to 8, I call this the honest hour. Most of the time, I realize the failures of my companies or even my businesses that I partner with, I don't do enough reflection. I only reflect once a year. New Year resolution, lose weight, travel more, make money. Can close. And that's also been the list of a lot of people for donkey years. New Year resolutions, right? So how about if I realize that if I do an honest hour daily, I reflect on myself, what went well, what went wrong, what should I improve? So that is my in that 1 hour. Now, of course, it's down to 20 minutes. And every night without fail, I practice something called the Miracle Hour. So from 11 to 12, if you're familiar with the body, from 11 to 2, our body's circadian clock is where we purely detox. So I must make sure I must sleep and maintain my sexy figure, A-shaped figure, and my complexion. So I must sleep by 12 now. I used to don't sleep 4 or 5 hours a day and just work, burn the midnight oil. No, I'm a night owl and an early bird. And I realized that, you know what, I'm a weak kidney, the liver was getting, then I was having called a bad gastric, and all sorts of things happening, and I didn't know why. Then I started understanding the body clock, and I realized that I need to sleep earlier. And so from 11 to 12, I practice something called the Miracle Hour. In the Miracle Hour, I do 2 major things. Number 1, I list down all my biggest problems. Sometimes I realize the biggest problem in life is I can't tell my wife, I can't tell my business partners. I can't tell my best friends. I no one to tell. But I need to release it, right? Let it go. So I actually write down, like all my biggest problems. And the worst thing to do before you sleep is to write down your biggest problems. Why? Because you can't sleep after you wrote down, right? So number 2, what I wrote down was, what am I grateful for? So like last night I wrote down in my grateful journal, I said, finally, to actually meet Adrian face to face and be on his podcast, to actually share some thoughts to his viewers and to his listeners. So I'm grateful for that. So I'm thankful. So I write them down. So I just don't know why, but I've been trying this, and I tell a lot of people who actually done it, if you actually do this for close to 66 days or so, every day in the morning hour session, my power hour, I get downloads. Downloads meaning I get answers to my biggest problems the night before. And I start sharing this more, I realized that all of us need to have not just habits, but more rituals and routines. Our family in Chinese history, right, have always have some sort of routine and ritual. We do not practice it enough. And somehow I've been practicing it for almost a decade, and I've been sharing this on the side. When people ask, I do. So that's what I do. And I realized that this is something to help really young people. Because most young people don't have a ritual routine. Their ritual routine is their 3 hours of Instagram time gone. 4 hours of TikTok gone. Right? There's even a TED Talk on it. Like 30% of their life, right, goes away just by device. And I tell my children this. I said, all the billionaire children, all the Forbes children, do you know how many hours do they allow their children to use the device?
How many?
No more than 1.5 hours.
A day?
A week.
A week?
Because there's already science been told that they sent it to MIT. I still remember there's a study done. Is they actually train the programmers to make the device addictive. So this is actually the most addictive device compared to any substance in the world right now. I mean, sometimes I also I work very hard today. I think I should enjoy myself. What do? You lean back, you chill, and then you scroll. Oh yeah, now it's 2 o'clock already. Correct or not? So yeah, so I think I used to share this a lot and say you know what? Apart from duduk diam-diam dapat duit, there are 5 Ds that will affect our trajectory in life. So disaster, we have no control. Whether is it the storm or is it tsunami, we have no control. First, disaster. Second is disease. I mean, we try our best to be fit. All of us has cancer cells. Like my mom, she has cancer cells. It's just that it was awoken, right? If you wake it up, it's there. But all of us has cancer cells. They're all asleep. So disease, no control. As best as we can, okay? Another one is disturbance. What sort of disturbance? We could be a broken pipe today. Like today, I came into the one of the parking, and then exciting things happened there, right? I was like, wow, this is like CSI happening downstairs, you know. Disturbance. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't talk about is distraction, and I think devices are our distraction. It's the one that we can control, because we actually take that for granted all the time. What is truly distracting you from the reality of your life? What is distracting you from the vision that you want to do? We get distracted by, some people say, I need to have more business, I must network more. So they get distracted by all the networking events, they collect all the name cards, but no time to follow up. Right? So some people say, I need distracted, I need to do social media content. Guess what? Then they go for all the courses to learn how to edit videos. But what is the point? The point is actually to get that video out fast and first. Right, and the hardest thing for me when I realized that when you're doing all these podcasts and whatnot is, it's a good idea, but I don't see myself doing this. It's so much hard work. You know, it looks easy. I set up a machine and ask a few questions. It's hard work.
Yeah, it looks easy.
Yeah, the preparation, the adjustment of lighting, the camera. I'm not a tech person. I used to tell my team, I'm a tech dinosaur, and my team they spoil me, you don't need to worry about anything. All is done for you. Just sit down and then you look good, And but there's so little time in our life, so we really must be focused and not be distracted by what's really going on in our life. Because when we work hard or we don't work hard, things happen, right? So I think I would practice looking at Not the diseases, not the disturbances, not even at disasters, but I'll look at what is really distracting you right now.
But can you share main 3 distractions when for startups?
Oh.
And for businesses that more than 5 years.
Cool.
3 major ones.
The first major distraction for startups is startups today. I realize is they have one magic word. Raising funds. That's not one, it's 2, right? So it's raise funds. And they think that if I raise funds, right, all my problems will be solved. So I answered last week a friend told me, he said, hey, this idea is damn good. I want to raise funds. I said, good. Then I said, can I share a little anecdote with you, a little story with you? I said, yeah, sure. So I said, now we swap. Okay, I approached you and said like, hey bro, I got this new business idea.
Right.
And I want to borrow from Along. Okay, how much you want to raise just now? 1 million, is it? So I want to borrow 1 million from Along. What do you think is a good idea or not, bro? Then what do you think the person will say? Siao,
Yeah.
you're crazy, right? I said, how is that any different? Raising funds, I think is one of the things that you should not start with for startups. If you raise funds first, you have to give either equity away, high chance, which is also a dumb thing to do. Because if you give equity upfront in the beginning, at the end you got nothing else to give or for yourself. That's the first mistake. The second mistake is, if you raise funds now, it's very easy to borrow money. Very hard to return money. Yeah? And if you don't deliver it, you have no traction, guess what? There was a study done, I still remember, if I'm not mistaken, every 20 companies invested, only 1 can become a rocket, a unicorn, or so to speak. Startups trying to raise money in the beginning, I don't think that's a smart move.
I don't think so.
I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah. Because people are addicted to that.
No, because I think what brings to a point is they think it's easy.
Easy money.
And it's also not my money. And if it's not your own money, trust me, you won't feel the pain. Right?
You won't.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I lost some money. Let me raise more funds. Right? And it's like saying, look, I find it very, very foolish by saying it. Like, every time someone raises funds, right, they celebrate. I said, if I borrow money from a loan shark and I go on social media and I said, woohoo, I borrowed so much money, bro. And I said, why will you celebrate that you just raised Series A, Series B? I said, keep quiet and just work to pay the money back. And so that's for me in startups. The journey of running companies, doing my business by myself, I realized that you could not do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. And you need someone to kind of like guide you. So there's a difference between a coach or a mentor. So most people get it wrong. They can't tell a difference, what's a coach and what's a mentor. So the basic difference is you need both. You need both. But what do you need now that can help you move? That's important. But different between the coach and the mentor is a coach focuses on you. They ask you a question, they spend time with you, you know. But a coach not necessarily have experience in whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessary. Right. But they've read a lot of books, they've been to a lot of seminars, they have a system or process or checklist to follow, and then, you know, they work on you. So that's a coach. Now, in a mentor, for me specifically is a mentor, there are five levels, okay? So a mentor is someone who has preferably been there. They've actually been there. In publishing, then I would say you are a level 5 mentor. Why? I'll explain. So level 1 mentor is I've been there. I've been in publishing, yeah? Level 2 mentor is I've been there, I've done that. Many people nowadays, they have been there, but have not done it. They have not actually get their hands dirty to do it. No. A lot of people nowadays, they calculate this. Oh, I know how to cook. Just you see your mother cook, then throw a few dishes, I can cook. You try and see, it will taste nothing like what you imagine. Because you see it. So, been there, level 1. Done that, level 2. Number 3 is, been there, done that. Key ingredient for me, a mentor must be, today still doing it. There are a lot of uncle, aunties in the coffee shop telling the Chan Keng Young story. When I was young, I used to do this. Uncle, you still do today? Never do anymore. But if I were you, I'll do this. So, been there, level 1, done that, level 2. Level 3 is you're still doing it today. Like you're level 3. Level 4, been there, done that, still doing it, helping people to do it. Level 4, which is what you're doing as well, right? You're helping a lot of authors, not just normal people. You're also helping. I saw just now one of your colleagues was sharing about that. You actually not just help people just about money. You actually help people who are actually going through a conditional distortion. And I think that is a very impactful thing that business should think about. It's not just money, right? So, but level 4, level 5, mentors are the one that been there, done that, still doing it, helping people do it, and the people that you help are better off. And that's why I say you're a level 5 mentor.
Don't think so.
Yes, you are, right? And because I've known some of the books that you have published, I've known the people that you've helped, and because you have helped them, regardless of the exchange, right, or how you help them, whatever model you've done, they've always mentioned, you know what, Adrian's the cool guy. Yeah, if you want to get a book out, you know what, look for Adrian.
Oh, they didn't say Adrian is a fierce guy.
Well, that after we cut the story, he's the cool guy in front. Then we actually get the shit done at the time. He's damn fierce. No, this one cannot.
No, Adrian is a shitty guy.
Yeah, but the fact matter is, sometimes mentors need to be real. We don't have time to sugarcoat you, sayang you. That's why you look for a coach to stroke your ego. You can do it. You can, you know. And for mentors is, no, I don't have a lot of time. You need help. Can I help you? What's your problem? Now go and do it. Now, if you are a person who like to implement stuff, I want to work with you. Now, if you just want someone to stroke you, you can do it. No problem. Call me. Then look for someone else. So that's I think the first difference in people when they look for coaches. So there are a lot of business coaches out there in different forms, right? Ask the question. I only ask 3 questions. Even for those who want to list. I say whoever you're learning from, whoever you're getting advice from, whether it's a coach, a mentor or a consultant, ask these 3 questions. These are my pivotal questions. Number 1, have they done it?
Have they done it?
Yeah, so you say you want to list a company, right? Have the person you learn from done it? First one. Second one, not that have they done it or not, is have they helped people to do it? So I have done it, right? But have I helped people do it? It's very different, you know. Just like there are 3 types of speakers in the world. There are speakers who are very good in talking. Very good. That means they talk like you. So handsome, so charismatic. Then there are what we call technical speakers. They play the PowerPoint, they are very intelligent, they play until you look also you want to sleep. You're like, oh my God. But there are very few people who can translate the speaking and the technical together and make it timely for you. That is very rare. Some people 講得, some people 做得. Very few people who can also teach you how to 講點樣做. I don't know how to translate that, but yeah. So the fact matter is,
fully understand.
Yeah. So right now is, have they done it? Have they helped people who have done it? Same question, right? I say yes. So you want the IPO, right? Have they done it? Yes, good. Second one, have they helped people do it? I just started a new company only, but I done it before. So you are guinea pig lah. First, second one. Third one is, for those you have helped people who IPO, how are they doing today? Isn't that an important question? Everyone also say I help you. What? Are they doing better today or not? If they're not doing better today, why I look for you? Because people's requirement right now are getting higher, and that will never change. People's expectation wants more. That's something that never change. People always want more. They want better, they want easier, they want cheaper, but the things that never change is that, right? So,
True.
yeah, that one. The 3 big things for me was that.
You know what? We have listed down so many questions. I think with one small stroke, you have covered all. and more.
Oh, I hope so. I give value to your listeners, to your viewers.
A lot. You know what? Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for inviting.
Podcast.
Really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.